And we are off to a slamming start.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the AA meeting.
Action!
Take it away.
Are we streaming?
Yeah.
We're streaming. We are
All right.
live. We are taking
Action!
Live. Welcome to the AA meeting. I am joined by co-host Andrew Marriage, also known as Bodhi from the Agora.
Marriage.
Yes,
Andrew
no,
Marriage.
no.
Did he change his name? Did you
I
change
won't
your
say
name?
him. I won't use his right name.
Action!
I have Paul Gordon.
Oh, hold on. Yeah.
We're streaming. We are.
Woo.
That's my Anarchy action face. That's what that was. That was Anarchy in action on my face.
I just had the audio playing through from the beginning of the
Now
live
you all
stream.
know. So now you all know. When you look at somebody and they're not doing this, that's not Anarchy. That's not action. That's Anarchy action right there. See, look at Jeremy right now. He ain't doing it. That's not Anarchy
I have
action.
Jeremy Hinkler from Seeds of Liberty.
Sadly closer than the pronunciation of Andrew's name, so I'll take that as a win.
It's all right. It's fine.
You know what, Jeremy? I just thought of something. You should be called Jeremy Hen G.Ler.
And G.G. There you go.
Yeah, because
I already
G.G. Allen.
They've already
See?
given me so many. I have like there's like 6
know.
variations
Yeah,
of my
do.
name of my name that
I
got listed on the
know.
feed. So I don't even
What
know
is
what.
the Heisenfraka or whatever?
Well, there's-
Heisenberg? Jeremy
there's-
Heisenberg? I like
There's
that one.
there's Heisenberg. There's Heisenbergler. There's
Yeah.
there's
That's a good
Heisen-
one.
There's Heisen N-word. If you don't want to be politically correct,
Yes.
that would be Heisen nigger.
Heisen N-word, yeah.
Which
Thank you for not leaving that just an N-word. Thank
I
you.
plan on running
Thank
for
you.
president
Well-
someday,
well-
so I'm not gonna repeat
Well,
that.
I'm gonna say this.
President of myself.
You have enough lighting, though. You could pass.
The reason that's even in the running for the pronunciation of my last name is because an individual who lives near Steve Miller in Kensington actually walked up to him one day and said, "Hey man, that new guy you got on the show, is his name really Heisen nigger?" Because that's what he swore he heard every time they said my name.
That's
So
amazing.
This black man walked up to my co-host Steve and asked him this question one day.
Oh, I wish I was a little birdie to see
Uh,
that. So, hey, welcome to AA meeting where we discuss names.
All right,
Yes.
so our
Go
fourth
Names?
interaction.
Why don't we hand it
so-
back over to our
all right,
MC of the
so-
evening, Dylan?
We're gonna go around the horn here. What did you do for Anarchy this week? I'll start it off. I have to admit, not really much outside of creating content. The videos off the debates, we live stream the debates. Stuff anarchists don't seem too interested in, but I got a lot of interactions from some Trump supporters and Hillary supporters. So,
So you brought the message of true liberty
yes, did
right into
expand our
state,
outreach.
on state-based land is what you did.
Yes.
Well,
We did,
I'd say direct outreach is a pretty
Yeah.
big deal. So I wouldn't say you didn't do much at all. I'd say you did.
Well,
I'd say you were very productive.
It was an effective outreach. I'm just kidding.
Well,
No, I'm
well,
kidding. I kid.
you never know when it's going to be. I'm with the whole outreach thing. We say it all the time. I mean, that's the whole basis of our podcast, the Seeds of Liberty. You're just supposed to drop the information and hope they pick it up. It's not like you can win everybody over in that instant.
Well,
so.
you could hand it to him.
Well, that's what I meant. Figuratively drop it there, drop the seeds and walk away.
I
and
usually
hope
see
they
what
take
I've
it.
been doing, and it's been working. Well, maybe not. I've
Could
been
hand
going
it to him.
people. I've been punching him in the face and saying "Anarchy,"
It works.
and then running away and said, as I run away, I said, "F your roads."
That works. So is
That
that
works.
what you did for Anarchy this week, Paul?
No, that's not what I did for Anarchy this week. What did I do for Anarchy this week? Well, I guess I did what you did, Dylan. I did a lot of content this week. I did a couple shows. I made a few videos, and I think I'm not going to mention the individual's name, but there's somebody in my life that I've been talking to for quite a while that's let's just say they're starting to sound like I did about 3 months before I crossed over. So I'm working on.
You have said person on the cusp, huh?
Yes, I have said I'm ready. I'm like I'm a form of Moses. By the way, that was the name of our show last night. It was Be Moses.
Oh, that's what it
and then
was.
We didn't talk about Moses at all.
I thought
Do you know
that's
why
what.
we didn't
I
talk
thought
about
that
Moses
was.
at all, Jim? Go ahead, share with the group. Go ahead. Share your feelings. Go ahead.
No.
Why didn't we talk about Moses yesterday, Jeremy?
Well, I don't think you were supposed to. I'm sure you just had to come up with a title since I bailed on the show.
Well, no, we had the
Jeremy
title
slept
ready.
through the
No,
show.
Okay.
I'm positive, but I mean, we've all done it.
It was called
No,
Moses, not Rip
it-
Van Winkle. Wrinkle or Winkle?
What did Jeremy do for Anarchy? I took
Winkle.
Winkle.
I think it's Winkle, but I like Wrinkle better.
Wrinkle. Makes
yes,
sense.
no, it's I will fully admit this. This is the second time I've ever slept through a show. I've done it once before on the Fiend, so it was, and it's it's unfortunate. I talked to you at what, like 5:30, and I said I'll be there, and then I sat on my couch, and the next thing I knew it was 9:15. I was like, oh man.
It's happened to me. At least I actually it only ever happened to me once, but I'm probably better at this than you, Jeremy. That's why it only happened once. You see, these are the jokes, kids.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
These
You
are the
can be better. I'll accept that.
Okay, so Jeremy, what?
All right.
Oh, sorry, Dylan.
Well,
Jeremy, go ahead.
yeah, well, I fall into a similar camp as you guys this week. I mean, I'm still fighting this cold I had from last week, so I was not as active as I would like to be, but I did put out my normal amount of content. But for me, the other thing I do is all the time is with my business, because I try to work outside of the bounds of the state as much as humanly possible and let people know that I am doing so. So I had a few conversations here and there with some clients that were asking me, like, for instance, today I was I went to a house that I go to a couple of times a week, and the owner actually happened to stop home while I was there because she had one of the dogs with her at the vet. And I was wearing my Lysander Spooner shirt with actually I always forget which one is it. The man is no less a slave just because he can vote for a master in the course of every 4 years. And she looked at it and started reading it and wanted to ask me questions. So right there I took the opportunity to impart a little knowledge on her and then walk away. But that was the only other thing I think I did outside my normal routine of trying to spread anarchy and try to live as free as I possibly can is I did have some more preliminary talks, which I really need to get further into this on getting our Seeds Fest set up for next year, because we are trying. Yeah, we're trying to get another festival get together type thing going for next year.
Where would that be?
We're still currently scouting out the Tennessee area. But the dates are yes, Dylan was one of the original people I had on the job.
I'm leaving, man.
It's okay. Hey, I have 3 people now who live in the state of Tennessee. One of whom has land who may be willing to let us use it. So, but we now have to change the dates because
you never had anyone to visit when you were there, Dylan.
Yeah.
What a dick! I'd like to meet these people.
No, you.
I know one of them.
Are you sure?
I know why I don't want to talk to them.
Who?
I said I'd like to meet. I didn't say I'd like to converse for a long period of time.
Oh.
I don't know them yet. I don't want to judge them.
You want to judge them? Are you a judger?
You've already judged them live.
Exactly. Well, I don't even know one of them. I haven't even spoken to him yet. It was a number I was given by our mutual friend Dan, who hooked me up with somebody who lives there who has land and may want to let us use it. But
okay, we'll talk afterwards.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was just gonna say that we were originally gonna do it at the end of June to kind of match up with Pork Fest for people who are still disillusioned from that. But unfortunately, apparently the people at the Midwest Peace and Liberty Fest decided that they want to rival Pork Fest next year, so they've moved their event, which is normally held in August, to the week of Pork Fest. So we're gonna have to figure out when's a better time to do Seeds, and if we move it to August, because there's gonna be that gap there now. I'm thinking August in Tennessee may not be the most.
No.
Might be a bit hot.
Yeah. So if we do have to go August, we may have to shift locations and end up being somewhere further north. But the
Pennsylvania would be a good spot. You should.
It might be a little land hurricane.
I don't think there's any actual festivals in Ohio as of yet, or at least any.
Everyone hates Ohio.
I know, but the whole idea was the idea of this was to get a more centralized location, because after finally getting to visit a couple of these events this year and talking to a bunch of people, including talking to Alma Summer, who quote unquote doesn't run the Jackalope Festival out in Arizona. We had a long conversation with her, and like we're just talking about getting these things going everywhere, because you talk about anarchy in action and what you do. Well, one of the first things to do for a lot of people is to find other anarchists, because I come across so many people that I was one of them too. I had like one friend around here who was an anarchist, and then he moved away on me, and then I felt all alone again.
I have two friends. I have two anarchist friends that live near me that I interact with on a regular basis.
Apparently, the title of tonight's show should be "Paul's a motherfucking one-upper," because that's the second time the last.
You know what?
You
I'm probably gonna go
true.
2, 3, 4, 5 upper before the show's over. So
Should we get,
I don't think you're like Moses. I think you're more
yes,
like.
let's get an upper counter. We need an upper
We
counter.
did get an upper counter. In the
You're like John the Baptist. I'll go with that.
Oh, John the Baptist.
You're just dunking people
I only
in the
have
river.
2 anarchist friends all together, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Now I had one. Actually, the one I have, we crossed over together. So, but actually, Jeremy, it was Michael.
They were
Fiend.
holding hands, and they were skipping.
Oh,
and
that's
there
what you meant
Yes,
by
yes.
crossover.
It's not.
there was soft music. It was beautiful.
It's
really.
not. It's not gay love. It's anarchy love. So it's okay. And not that there's anything wrong with that.
Digital
But
love
the
is
second
anarchy.
anarchist that I've connected
There's
to,
another
Jeremy,
counter.
actually, it was Michael Fiend that connected me to him. So,
I see where some of that stuff comes from now.
What do you mean?
I see why I'm wearing these shooting.
Yeah.
I see it. All right, so we need 2 counters. We need a counter for how many times Paul one-upped somebody, and for how many times he says, "I thought they were gay," but there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. But no, I didn't say I thought they were
Not
gay.
that there's anything wrong with that.
Hey,
We need a counter for how many times you say, "Not that there's anything wrong with that."
well, whenever you say the word gay, you have to say, "Not that there's anything wrong with that."
No, you
I
don't.
think-
Usually
I
you
don't.
send it with
Only-
faggot.
Only
That's
scared.
why.
Oh, we're gonna
only
get taken down by YouTube's.
Only scared Catholics and Christians have to make that disclaimer every time they say it.
Oh, whoa.
We should have an FCC counter.
Oh, there's only one Christian on this group. I'm not going to do
Well, there you go.
I think we know.
I'm not saying it's about you, Paul, but it's about you.
It's about you.
Anyway,
So, Andrew,
Well, see,
what have you been up
And
to
that's
this
what I'm
week?
talking about. You've been talking, Jeremy, about these festivals that you're like centrally located. Why can't you think about my needs and having a festival that's Paul located?
I didn't.
That would be more practical.
You have Anarchy in the Allegheny by you. Have you gotten to that either the past 2 years?
I just discovered it just this last year, and I was already doing something at the time, so I couldn't do it.
Well, see, there you go. They have an event, but that's what I was trying to get at is getting these things going everywhere, in every state, in every town, so people can connect.
Right.
So
Trying to be entertaining, just I'm putting myself out there every day for you, Jeremy.
please don't.
This is what you do to me.
Anyway.
You'll find
allowed to
nothing but
try the show?
disappointment. Don't put yourself out there. Don't do it.
Yeah, please don't. Yeah. Disappointed.
Okay.
I have a string of people in my past that can tell you the same. Anyway, but so yeah, but no, the only reason that I wanted to try to put on a more centralized one is because I've made a bunch of friends now out on the West Coast that don't want to travel all the way to something like Porkfest, which is still the biggest one out of all of these. Although Jackalope seems to be raising in growing in numbers every year, but if we could get one somewhere like. I think Kansas is actually technically the most centralized location, but Kansas is miserable. Nobody wants to go to Kansas. I mean,
Why does the festival have to end? Why can't it be a traveling circus?
It doesn't have to end either. That was something else I actually talked about with Alma Summer. It was an idea that she's trying to get off the ground and keep them going because there are enough fests and little get-togethers and all these things across the country that there are actually anarchists who are currently able to festival hop for most of the year and sell their wares or do whatever.
Oh, well, what if it's like a traveling caravan and we can just get all the freaks together, throw them in a caravan and just travel them across. They have somewhere to stay. They have all their stuff. They have all the amenities. They can even live broadcast.
Well, we could do that too.
That would be cool, like a traveling studio. I would crowdfund that shit.
Well,
didn't we talk about that in some other network before?
Who wouldn't do it? If we had the wagon wheels and everything, like legit wagon wheels, we have to find a guy that makes them, bring them with us, and a blacksmith.
I think I may know a guy actually.
We know a blacksmith.
The sharing network. The sharing.
I do know an anarchist blacksmith.
Just say sharing.
At least one.
Right?
Well, you have, don't you?
A Sharavan. A Sharavan. Sharavan.
Well, that would be great. The
Anarchy.
The only
came together.
the only downside I see to that is that anybody who wanted to participate in that and actually travel the circuit with it would have to be largely self-funded. They would have to have some kind of revenue stream that they could do wherever,
Right.
whenever.
So you just bring the cool people.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
That means I can't go, man. That sucks.
So,
Well, no.
so basically, Bodhi, what you're saying is the cool people are the people who can self-fund.
Yeah, I'm
That
just
is
gonna
so
hang out
1%
under the
It's so
caboose.
1% of you.
Yeah.
Well, I can self-fund right now. I can't do that from the road though. So that's an excellent idea. Like I said, I've talked about
You
that with
could
a couple other
self-fund
people,
on
too.
the road if someone took their dogs with you.
You
Yeah.
know, I could actually self-fund on the road, but my wife makes more money than me. But I can. If it was just me, I can self-fund on the road. I can work remotely as long as I have Wi-Fi. I work.
Yeah,
Oh,
I can
man.
self-fund on the road. It's called
Yeah.
the personals, Craigslist.
Well, no, I mean, if like Paul said, if it was just me, if I didn't have my kids to worry about, I
Yeah.
would go. I'd be out right now. Well, unfortunately, Uber and all that stuff would still be a problem for me because there's issues with my license. But aside from that, like the other, what's those other jobs?
Issues?
They
It doesn't exist.
They don't really check it, man. I have Uber without car insurance and everything.
oh, really? Nice.
You might get away with it. Just
I can give it a shot. But my point was, there's other things out there now. Like, was our friend Dan? Didn't he just do it the thing where you can pick up somebody, like if somebody has
Yeah.
that one? Yeah,
Pick
there's
stuff
like
up
that.
and delivered it. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
there's
it's called
stuff.
Roadie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, already.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's stuff like that already. So there are things to
That'd be
do, and I'm not above working again. I've said for a long time, if when I finally get out of here, if I'm not bringing my kids with me immediately, I'm just going to take whatever job I can get just to make money. Like I'll hustle. I have no problem with that. But largely, people who would want to make a circuit trip with the Roman caravan like that,
Well,
or
they
caravan.
would have
if
to
we're
be.
calling
They'd kind of be in the circus already, so.
Well, yeah. Well, see, that's the
kind
other
of
thing.
thing. You could turn it into if it's a traveling show, you charge for it. It's an event. You can zone it in cities a lot. You can zone it in cities. You don't have to go out in the middle of.
Oh, Tokesh.
Oh yeah, he's got a giant party van.
Yep.
Party bus.
Yeah.
Tokesh, his tours he does every year.
Yeah, and he
Yeah,
has a
it's
lot
like-
of people that give to his Patreon, and so he's
Right,
pretty,
because he's
pretty good.
cool.
Right.
Is that why?
We need to
Cool, is that
raise
why?
our cool
Is
level.
that a scientific term?
I got a clock,
Scientific term.
and guess what?
Look.
I don't have any batteries for it. So just like every other clock I have, it does not
You got
tell
a broken
time.
watch too, right?
Well, why
Yeah,
would it
one's
tell
broken, one the battery doesn't
one's
work.
broken
The watches are all busted, and
Well, because you having a working timepiece would be completely. They would.
I think if I
it would
that was-
destroy
was-
me.
Yeah, it would
I'd lose all my friends.
Continue to rip and
you would, Bodhi, if I saw you.
All
and
my
you, like,
friends are in different time
on the-
zones. There's a reason for that.
I think my head would explode if I saw you with a working
Well,
clock. I'm like,
not, same, whatever.
couldn't handle that. I could not personally handle that contradiction right in front of me.
What contradiction?
And clock.
Oh yeah. Well, what if I don't look at it?
And no, I would know. Like if you had a clock
I
behind
would
you
know.
and it was working.
Well,
no.
thanks for asking what I did this week.
I did ask what you did this week, but you were so rudely interrupted by other people on the show.
Oh, I wasn't rudely interrupted. It was more
Like
like
Dylan-
it was just rolled over.
Dylan,
That's
you need-
fine.
You
It was
need to
like
let
it was
the
like
man
using a
speak.
pool noodle.
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah.
I just get a weird feeling when I think of pool noodles. But no, this week I got another domain. I guess we could talk about it at least.
Yeah, Bodhi and I we're starting a new art movement. Actually.
Right. Nepa art.
Nepa art. Yep.
It's not.
Which means
What is Nepal art?
Is not.
Nepa means is not art.
Mhm.
I don't know what Bobo. Go ahead. Give him our. Do we have a thesis for it?
Do you
Yeah, I do,
have an
actually.
elevator speech for me?
Do you have an? We haven't. I don't think we've come up with an elevator speech yet. But
Elevator pitch, rather. The elevator pitch. That's what I meant.
As
not speech.
I have like 8 notebooks, so
Hold on, that is the sound of.
We do have. I know time doesn't exist, but we do not want to go so
Fine.
far into our experience.
well, Nepa.tv gonna be
It's gonna be awesome.
yeah. Imagine like you're on the internet, but you want to go to the museum and see some really weird shit. There you go. Nepal.tv. That's-
Or if you want to see weird art, also that. Either the poop or the art. Either way.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
gonna,
yeah, yeah. Well, if I make it, it's gonna be one category.
It's gonna be art. It's gonna be
Right. It'll be
pure.
like I commonly my most common art criticism. Yeah, it looks like a vagina. Like sweet.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know who George O'Keefe is?
No.
Oh,
Yes.
George O'Keefe. Okay, vagina. She does a whole bunch of flowers, and they all look like
Oh, look like vaginas.
JJ's.
Does that just mean vagina looks like flower? So
They
I-
can. I've
don't
seen some
get
that
that
can.
metaphysical.
came out
That's
weird.
too
I
metaphysical.
think the more there's a ratio between how much you need to get laid and how many objects look like vaginas.
Oh, that explains the last 3 notebooks.
Oh, I don't know whether I want to see them or I don't want to see them. I'm conflicted at this moment.
Well, I was
Well,
trying to figure- I'm
speak
just
no
trying to
evil.
I was trying to figure out if they were filled with ink or something else. But anyway,
Anger? No.
no, I said ink.
No.
Or
He said
something.
ink
Oh,
or
inks.
something else.
Inks?
There was a fluid that you used to. Never mind. Never
So
mind.
the pages
Oh, like a coffee painting.
Talking
Because
about-
I drink coffee a lot.
Yeah,
no, I was
exactly.
thinking.
My
if
mom
you
might
open
watch
it up
this,
and
I
you
gotta
hear
be
like
careful.
a lot of crackling.
Well, yeah, they
Sounds
don't.
like-
You can't really open it up so much anymore.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of
It might be. Yeah,
rigid and stuck together, perhaps.
a little bleached. Just gonna throw that out there.
So
So, Dylan, have we thoroughly hijacked
Yeah,
this
I
mantle?
think we have thoroughly gone through what everyone's done for Anarchy this week.
Yeah, we did
so
that!
it's-
Chaos!
is that all you did, Bo?
Paul-
Because we
Paul and
didn't really
Jeremy-
that.
What did I? Oh,
Paul and
wait,
Jeremy
hold
created
on,
some
Jeremy. I need
content,
to
and
calculate how much
Bodhi
Jeremy.
stuck a
I
bunch
just
of
need to
pages
do
together.
one more thing, and we're good. No, just kidding. Go ahead. Sorry.
Did you have anything else, Andrew?
Nah, I thought I had a stain on my shirt, but it's just the light.
Excellent job solving that mystery. We can
All right, so let's move on here. Who watched the debates? Guilty as charged. We live streamed.
Yeah,
I
I think
did.
I'm the only one that did not.
Yep.
I had an
Do it.
epic
I included
rant.
my-
I had an epic rant this week. I wish I had it to splice in. Remember that?
What was
Yeah,
your
what-
rant about?
The
Is
live
that part
stream?
of, is that part of the
You
live
had an
stream?
epic. Oh, I thought you said Debbie Grant, and I was really thrown
Same
off
thing.
there.
Same
I thought
thing.
you said I had Debbie
Grant.
Grant, and it's
I don't even know
weird.
who
Who's
that is.
Debbie?
Just go with it.
Amy.
Just roll with it. We're
Who's
live.
Debbie Grant?
So anyway, debate. Is that what you asked?
Yes.
Who watched
Okay,
Any
it?
yes.
comments on the debate?
Well, I have the night of debate reaction and then the next day reaction. The night of debate reaction, I was totally cheering Donald Trump on. And when he first started, I was thinking, oh, this guy's just going to be a big old a wet paper bag. But he came out swinging. And when they got to the because you'd be in jail moment, I cheered. I was so happy to hear that. And it was like, it was blood and water. It was like I was watching Hillary finally get hers. And I've been with the Clintons, I guess you could say, since 1992 when they first arrived on the national scene. And I've hated them
Tommy.
ever since. So this was nice and sweet. And then the next day it kind of sunk in that it was all just a bunch of, it was a show. And, oh, yes, Donald Trump said really, really horrible things to Hillary. But Hillary Clinton still really hasn't paid for the evil that she's done in the world. He kind of Trey Gowdy'd her. You know, Trey Gowdy is that Republican representative dude that always brings in these officials from the Obama administration, and he gives them a tongue lashing and nothing else. So
They
that's how
tossed
I.
his salad.
But yeah,
That's essentially what he's doing because
no, he's not tossing their salad. He's tossing our salad. That's pretty much what he's.
no, he's
No,
basically
I
tossing
might actually like be able to like get used to that and get something out of it.
having your salad tossed.
Well, yeah, I don't eat salad, man.
Oh, oh,
So if
okay.
someone
Oh.
actually prepared the salad, I might actually eat it.
Well, what if they tossed it?
Well, as long as it lands in the bowl, it doesn't matter.
Good follow up.
Yes.
Dylan, you
Good
watched.
follow-up. I did watch the debates. Me and Mr. Andrew there, Andrew Marge, actually live streamed them.
Rhymes
on
with porridge, apparently.
YouTube.
Yeah,
We
there's
gave
apparently
live
a D in
reactions.
my name. Someone notify.
There is. There's a D in your name. I put it there on my own authority and the way I create my own reality.
Oh, you want to give
Um,
me your D, don't you?
Yep, I do.
Shit.
Whoa.
Well,
Whoa.
You kind of just did,
There's
actually.
anything wrong with that?
There it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta start writing this shit
All right,
down.
hold on, wait a minute. We got 2 over here. What was the other count up to? I'll just start doing fingers for now until we get the.
And not that there's anything wrong with that. That's the running tab right now. We're up
That's
to 2.
true. There was another one. There was another thing we were supposed to keep track of that you were going to do.
Oh, the FCC.
Suppose we have
What
2.
else we
I got the FCC.
got? 2 and 2.
We have 2 1-uppers so far.
FCC, I can't keep count of FCC, man. That's like every 5 seconds for us.
There's no FCC on YouTube.
There's no
Yeah.
FCC. The FCC is a myth.
They're a bunch of dicks. Actually,
They are.
No, on YouTube, there's just idiotic trolls and motherfuckers who make copyright claims on your shit for no fucking reason whatsoever, over and over and over again. I've been getting flooded with them lately. It's so fucking annoying.
Jeremy, there's a serious uptick in it. At least from, you telling me that. I know a number of people. I myself am experiencing an uptick of this stuff too. So, yeah, YouTube is becoming a giant Toledo on Toledo. It's
I don't know. I have on all my.
not a place for creators. I'll just say that.
it sounds
Well,
better.
sir-
Nipot.tv sounds a little better.
Well, I know
Oh,
I did read about
He is
the
where everybody
British
wants to go.
government.
Actually,
What's
I'm
that?
sorry,
Dylan?
Dylan.
The British government was putting pressure on popular YouTubers because they said you influence the children, to send the right message, whatever the right message is to them.
The
Well,
government. Man.
The one on the right.
One
The
of
British
us,
government.
one of us. That's the right
Mhm.
message, by the way.
Well, whenever you catch any government around the world, whenever it's actually let out that they're up to something along those lines, you could rest assured that the United States is either already has done it, is currently doing it, taught them how to do it, or is going to be implementing that shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
So I think.
Well,
that's,
911 was an inside job, and I know you guys are going to find it hard to believe that the United States government killed 3,000 of its own citizens. I think just this year, though, it probably killed. How many people do you think it killed this year?
Thousands.
I mean, 911 would be.
What's that? Zero watching? Huh.
It was 20, right? And then
Yeah, it was like 20, and then you said that, and it's like.
I'm not serious about. I'm not a 911 conspiracy theorist.
well,
well, they're not going to come back. Fuck.
Lead with that, Paul. Thank you.
It really
You're
did drop by 2 when you said that.
Really?
They're like,
Wow.
fuck this,
I
I'm
don't
out.
trust it. The counter's a little off, though.
Okay, I apologize. I'm not a 911 conspiracy guy. The point is that the
Wow.
government does horrible, hideous things, and who the hell cares about 911? Because
Wow.
it's just another. Whether they did or didn't, it's just another thing. No, I don't
It doesn't
mean
make a difference
Jeremy,
in what we did after.
I'm not insensitive to the deaths, to the people who died and the families. A moment of silence. Maybe we should have a moment of silence so I don't get killed. After
No,
the
this
show's
is radio.
No, we don't
Internet.
be silent on radio.
over. Just silent. I don't do a moment of silence on radio.
Silence.
No.
Is bad.
I only
No?
do moments of silence when I have a video and I can put emotional attachment pictures.
This whole
on
show is
top of
supposed
my
to be
computer.
about anarchy action. We're
Well, we're
we're,
acting.
we're pulling a government right now. There's
We are?
like people knocking at our door telling us they need help, and we just can't. We're not even answering the door.
Really?
I'm
Yeah.
trying to answer.
Like going down the.
I think.
No, I gotta roll over you once at least.
All right.
For it.
Or me or me? Who are you rolling
Jer-
over?
Oh yeah, you can't see where I'm pointing. No one knows what I'm pointing
I
to.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause everyone-
No, because all three of you. All
We're
three of you
not in the room with you.
There's Paul, Dylan right in front of me, and then I've been playing footsie with him the whole time, and then Jeremy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's why I want to get virtual reality when we do these
Yeah,
things.
but
It'd be
I
cool.
don't know, man.
Oh.
I don't know if I want virtual reality.
Do a show while everybody's using a virtual reality system.
Well, imagine all the guests being able to sit in the studio audience.
But actually, that might be kind of cool. I notice
You can see when they stand up and they fucking. They can,
maybe it's my only. I noticed that I have a better. I won't say a better rapport, but I have a better feel for my co-host Dimitri, for like when he wants to talk, when I want to talk,
oh yeah,
because
you
we're
learn
like
it.
we do it together in the same room, so we can really see each other, read each other's body language, and so yeah, maybe I would like virtual reality hosting. That'd be kind of cool.
Right.
I changed my mind. It's not creepy. It's cool.
What
I am now
creepy.
advocating for
Why
it.
not
This
both?
And then you
Anarchy
can
Act-
fly around in a drone or something. You know, that'd be even cooler.
So we were talking about the debate, and somehow we got to drones.
Virtual reality
and
drones.
Virtual reality drones.
So I
Well-
gave my opinion. Dylan, what's your opinion? I gave my
On the debate?
Yeah.
Well, on the debate, I think overall Trump won the debate. He did a better job of shitting on Hillary.
Does anybody really
she-
admit those things?
No, not really. But if you, I have to take what was done. Well, I don't have to do anything, but and judge it off that. And what I judged it as is a shitting on each other contest, and he did a lot better job.
Yeah, his
He's
crap
good
was
like that.
his crap was strong.
Yeah.
You
I gotta admit that when it was on when we were live streaming it and commenting on it, and he said that it's like you'd be in jail. We were just both like, oh,
yeah, pretty sure.
good.
Yeah.
So
It's
was I.
good.
So was I.
Such a burn.
Yeah, that was a sweet burn.
But here's the thing: did he really shit on her, or did he just lift the seat?
Oh god.
Huh?
I don't know.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I would. Say it's already up though.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. I was thinking that it was because I didn't watch it, but I heard about that. But you guys actually watched it live, and I think for me, one of the other the fact that I thought that okay, that must have been pretty funny to see live. But that was a pretty good line. I love the immediate, like you could point to right away the spin from the leftist media.
Oh god, yeah.
Immediately tried to turn that
Damage
into
control.
that he what was it that he wants to use his power, the presidency, to put her in prison.
His political opponent in prison.
Yeah.
Now here it's not just the left that picked up on that. Unfortunately, I'm going to use this term loosely. One of our own that picked up on it. Jeffrey Tucker. Anybody see that?
Oh, I didn't see that. I
Oh.
saw Chase Rachel's response to Jeffrey Tucker.
Oh, I'm hoping Chase hammered him and
Oh
hammered
yes, Chase
because-
beat him over the head.
Yeah, because what he said was so. I understand. Yes, we get it, Jeffrey. You hate Trump. We're not fans of Trump either. But clearly, Trump was talking about having someone arrested because they broke the law. He wasn't threatening his political opponent. And to carry the leftist narrative,
But the law's just an
because it
opinion, man.
suited your end of attacking Trump was, wow. Just I don't know. I don't have words for that.
Well, that's just that just goes to show you that not just about anybody is above being taken in by their confirmation biases.
yeah.
Because I've only spoken to him on 2 occasions, but
Didn't you have him on your show once?
yeah, and I met him at one event and got to talk to him for a little while too. And very charming guy. And I've read a lot of his stuff, and I think he's a very intelligent guy. And I agree with a bunch of his positions and stuff. Other stuff I've never really agreed with him on. But yeah, this is but it just goes to show you, even somebody who's considered fair, pretty educated, even on in our circles and stuff like that, and well spoken is still is not above being sucked into that stuff and just accepting things because of your already pre-existing bias. Happens to everybody.
Well, yeah, but for him, it seems to happen over and over again, and it's usually connected to something that conveniently makes Trump look bad. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. But that's his one bias, that he has that much hatred for Trump. I mean, I don't know what
I don't disagree with everything that he's written about Trump. I think maybe 70-80% of what he says is true about Trump.
Yeah, but what's it really? What's all that time focused on him really done.
Yeah, that's another question. I guess can I ask that question, Dylan? This is you're in charge here. I'd like to ask.
I do, and after you ask that, I have an audience question. So go for it.
Go ahead with the audience question. We should.
You sure?
Yeah. Bring it up.
Yeah, totally.
All right, so I don't know. Did you guys watch the VP debate?
No.
What?
No.
The vice
All right.
presidential
Nah,
debate.
'cause I only
fuck
watch
is
the
a vice
presidential
president?
debate because I'm looking for one of two things. I'm looking for Trump to punch her in the face, or I'm looking for Hillary to pass out. That's the only reason I watch, because there could be drama. It could be entertaining for me.
All right, so here's the question. How is it that Pence was considered the winner of the VP debate because of his calmness, but when Hillary did it, she wasn't standing up to him enough? Double standard, maybe.
She wasn't calm.
Well, again, I didn't watch it, but I got accounts from a whole bunch of different people, and based on, the way I could see biases being used, it's kind of easy to shape what actually happened. And I think for all pretty much every account I got of the VP debate wasn't the fact that necessarily that Pence was just calm and whatever. Like, Kane was flat out irrational.
It was annoying.
And was just ranting and was in typical politician speak, wasn't really answering any of the questions and kept just trying to defend Hillary and what she had done in the Clinton Foundation and whatever. And it wasn't necessarily putting for, he had nothing to offer in the way of actual ideas, where I guess Pence had at least some he was able to put forward, and then he was just able to just smack down every stupid thing that Kane said. So
yeah, I didn't see the debate, but I can say there is one big difference between the Kane-Pence debate, where if Kane was attacking Pence like Trump was attacking Hillary, and that is a whole heck of a lot of people that have a whole lot of years of hate directed at that woman. And it's not just Republicans. It's Republicans, it's Democrats, it's anarchists, it's a whole group of people that can't stand that woman, can't stand the Clintons.
Well, and yeah, how many people have they murdered?
I'm not cheering Trump on.
What the fuck?
Of
course
Trump
everybody hates him.
He's in that debate, for me, he was just a useful thug. And after the debate is over, I still want him destroyed too.
Who did Trump kill? Who did Trump hurt?
Oh, Trump is no fly, no buy.
Who did Hillary
they're all states
kill?
on state faces. So,
who did Hillary kill?
Who did Hillary actually kill? Probably no one, but
no.
She's probably killed a couple of people with that stare. God, it's ungodly.
Hitler didn't kill anyone either, probably. Well, actually, maybe in World War I.
Killed himself. He probably killed his wife.
Yeah.
Did he?
Oh yeah, that or just hanging out in Argentina.
Is he?
No, didn't he pop one of his generals, or did he? I think he ordered someone too.
I don't know. I think they ate. Did they eat? Why didn't they just eat the cyanide? Like, what the?
I don't know. It would have been so much better.
I don't know. Well, he was in World War I, so there's a good chance that he.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In World War I, he may very well have killed in World War I.
I didn't think he saw action.
But it was okay because the government.
I thought he just polished the rifles or something stupid.
No. He was a corporal, and he was very gung ho. He was very much in it. No, he was in the war, World War I, and it was very sad when it ended because that was his life. But so the short answer for that question is, it's because everybody hates Hillary across the. Well, not everybody. I can't say that. No, we can never say everybody, right? Everybody, everyone, all the time. Can't use any words like that.
No, you can.
But a large segment of people can't stand that woman. So when she was getting beat on, it was cheering that was going on. That's just it. That's
that. Well, yeah,
that's the emotional reality.
That and
is that a double standard though?
Well, no, because
that's her legacy. That's her legacy.
Well, yeah, and I was going to speak to that too, because I think it's also a lot of the people that, because I've seen this also not just from the people on the right, but I've seen this from some people on the left saying that her supposed calm demeanor wasn't a calm demeanor. She was doped up on drugs because she's having.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
No, I suppose so. Like I said, I've seen that from multiple places, including some leftist places. So which to me automatically is like, all right, if both sides are saying this, maybe
it must definitely be false.
No.
If both sides are saying it, that means
Yes.
someone copied the
Yes.
other one and wrote a legitimate satire article, and it flipped the fucking
Yeah.
meaning, and now everyone believes
I
it.
would agree.
If anybody's watching the video, this is Hillary Clinton when she was patiently waiting with Trump. That is a horrible, sarcastic smile face that kind of looks like she knows she did it, and she hopes that everybody else can.
Yeah, but
figure
Trump
out.
had the same. Trump had the same smile in the Republican debates.
He did, and he got away with it. But he didn't get away with it with me. I thought he looked oily, smug, unctuous. They all mean the same thing, but
Doesn't he always look smug?
I thought he was horrible. I thought he was horrible in the Republican debates, and I was like, every debate, the guy won. I'm like, holy crap. That's why somebody, Severin Friedman, he was on our show yesterday, and he was putting forth some hope that the American people are not as dumb as you think they are. And I was like, dude, Hillary and Trump, case closed.
See, they weren't even legitimate. How did they even get there?
Well, yeah, hasn't it already pretty much been virtually proven that Hillary only got there because of the
but have you seen your Facebook page? Have you seen the number of people that are rabidly supporting Hillary, that are rabidly supporting Trump? There's a lot of them.
I don't friend those people.
No,
every election.
Yeah, I actually don't.
Yeah, granted, I'm the young guy. I've only really been through 3.
I only have 500 friends.
I don't really. All I remember about Bush was the Florida thing.
Hanging chads.
Yeah.
Hanging chad.
Chads. I was actually taking constitutional law class at that time, so it was interesting. Because
see, I still don't see anybody rapidly supporting Hillary.
I do.
I have
no.
Trust me, for my reach in these areas, there are plenty of people rapidly supporting Hillary.
I just don't see it around here on Long Island. The only signs I see anywhere, which there's not a lot of signs up either. There appears to be
not a lot. I don't see a lot of signs for Trump here, and this is a red state.
But I see, but I'm saying I don't see a lot of signs at all. But what I do see is I see Trump signs, and every once in a while I see a random Johnson sign.
They don't have to put up signs. Johnson needs to put up signs because people don't know the hell he is.
No, that's not the point. I'm just saying, like, there seems to be a lot of people around here that are very disinterested.
Johnson's
with this
like
one.
the AMD of processing.
But also, but so I don't see it because on my feed there's no. I don't think I have any Hillary supporters. At least I don't see them. Because the only people that send me friend requests are either other anarchists or constitutional like liberty type people that find out about hear me see something I put out something somewhere that connects with them in some way, and they're like, all right, I'll check this out. And other than that, I don't think I have, other than my family who is a bunch of Hillary supporters or Democrats at least, they're not saying anything about her. They're not talking about her. There were a bunch of them that were talking about Bernie.
I think you're coming
they're not talking anymore. So
you're only coming from your.
Well, here's the thing: they do keep talking about Bernie, and then they vote for Hillary at the end.
Yeah.
Again, but I'm not. But like I said, I don't see the rabid support for it. I'm not saying anybody else doesn't. I'm saying I don't see it anywhere in my life. Like even out around here in my contacts around the country. I don't personally see it.
How do you feel about the Trump supporter who said it? Is that a new question that just popped up?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll read it then. Please, I'd like to say. Yeah, can I read it?
Go ahead.
All right, we good?
Yes.
All right.
You're the only other person who said
How do you feel about the Trump supporter who said at the recent Pence gathering, saying something along the lines of, "If Hillary becomes president, I want a revolution"?
I am not for a revolution because I think a violent revolution will simply lead to...
This?
You just switched it. You switched it.
How so?
You added violent.
You did. She did not.
That's true. I did. But you know what?
I don't know
revolution to me.
N'est pas révolution.
You know what? It's my own language bias. For me, when I hear the word revolution, I immediately think violent. Maybe we need a clarification from
allow me to You
I don't-
Oh, it's a quote,
clarification.
so-
Her
It's a
quote
quote.
was, "If Hillary becomes president, I want a revolution." That was the quote from a Trump supporter. Now, allow me to shit on the right wing for a little bit. This
Go
is
ahead.
incredibly common from the right wing. They've done this with Clinton, they did this with Obama, and they're doing it with Hillary, and they'll do it with the next Democrat. They consistently say, "I want a revolution. On my guns, I want and they're a bunch of fucking pussies. They're gonna go back to their fucking little trailers. They're gonna cook their goddamn eggs, and they're not gonna do shit but stand there and talk. Well, not stand. They're too lazy to stand.
They
Sit
might
there on their
paint
fat
some
ass
things black and
fucking
yellow.
talk shit, 'cause that's all they're good for. That's all they ever do. They just talk. They just blah 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 blah. Militias all across the United States who think they're shit, think they're an army, think they can stand up to anything, are just freaking talkers who go out in the woods every once in a while. That's all they are. They're a bunch of pussies.
In the woods.
If you want to do something, go do it. Stop talking.
I don't want them to go do it. So
I don't either. I don't either. But
They
I want them to shut
won't.
up. I want them to be quiet.
All
They're
right,
not doing anything.
here's my answer to this question. Now, I'm going to answer it just in terms of what do I think of this person saying that. I think this person is a hothead and somehow believes that one or the other candidate will bring them salvation, will bring them freedom, and they're completely delusional. That's it. I don't think anything of it. I think it just shows that this person is fundamentally unaware of the reality that they live in, because there's no one that's going to save them, that's going to get elected.
Well, that's of course true. But yeah, I don't.
That'd be a safe bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, there really, unfortunately, there. I mean, there really isn't much to say. If just because, again, revolution. What does that mean?
Right.
Yeah.
What is that?
What did this guy
what
mean?
is what? Yeah. Now,
I'll wear
chances
white
are-
pants after Labor Day. Like,
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Chances are, if he is a Tea Party-esque, conservative, whatever, who's now following Trump, or whatever, a lot of those guys tend to, when they use that term, mean an armed revolution, regardless of whether they would actually go through with an armed revolution.
And they won't, like Dylan said.
Well, no, exactly. But that's what they would mean. Is that the case here? Possibly, even maybe, probably, but like Dylan pretty much summed that up. That they're not going, and I don't want them to. I don't want it because it would be very. Although
I kind of want him to. That would make things really easy.
Well, see, I say that, and then I've also talked about this in other forms with
I could use a bow.
the idea. Well, see, the whole idea is, people mock the militias and stuff like that.
Yes.
There are a number of them that I've come across, spread out
Very
across the
small
country. Yeah, but that have no delusions of grandeur of taking on the government. They're just literally preparing for if and when the government decides to finally turn the guns on it, like directly turn the guns on everybody. And they just want to be prepared for that moment. I've come across enough of those guys that you get enough of those type of people together.
And
Guerrilla warfare is, like, people always say you can't take on the army. That's absolute bullshit. Look at what they haven't been able to do over the last how many decades. They got their asses handed to them. The greatest army in the motherfucking world got their asses handed to them in Vietnam by what? Mostly guerrilla fucking warfare.
Well,
you know why?
Vietnam was surrendering. Remember that. The
Yeah.
North Vietnamese general had the surrender written down to the United States in his hand, and then we left.
I'm not aware of this.
Another week in Vietnam, we won that war.
Well,
Well,
See-
even if you won the war, the cost, and I always talk about.
I understand
No,
that, but I want to put that in perspective because a lot of people, they have this debate: did we didn't leave we didn't lose Vietnam, we left. Well, you did lose because you left. But do remember that the North Viet Cong Army general had the surrender in his hand.
yeah.
I'm not saying it's not true.
and we threw the coup to get the South out.
But that doesn't
Right.
even. but I don't even think that changes anything necessarily because
No, it doesn't change the cost of coercion.
well, no, it's not even. No, I'm not even going into that aspect.
You're also talking about a 46-year-old ago army.
What?
I don't think you should. I don't think you can compare that to today.
Oh
In
no,
other words, technology's changed. But look at Iraq. And
I don't
look
feel
at
like that's a fair
Afghanistan.
comparison. Look,
Okay,
what about Iraq and Afghanistan? The problem with Iraq and Afghanistan is that we're funding the very people we're fighting. If we weren't funding them, we would win. We could easily win Afghanistan and Iraq like that. It's
You
not
hold
that
the
hard.
land, no problem. You're
The
going to
problem is
They have no
is
supply.
we're right. The problem is that we're funding our own enemies. It's ridiculous. It's like if I handed you a gun and said, "All right, let's fight." Why would I do that?
but
Fuck
that's
that.
yeah. But see, I see that as all part of the design anyway. So
It is part of the design, but I'm saying when you're saying that this army can't defeat a militia, I call bullshit.
I didn't
Because
say
we're
it
not
can't.
gonna
I
be-
didn't say it can't. I didn't say it can't defeat a militia. I'm saying. I'm
You
saying
certainly don't want to be the Afghan. If you look at the casualty, if you look at the cost of the wars, oh yeah, sure, it's been a sustained war. We've lost thousands. They've lost hundreds of thousands.
If the United States government
It's not
decided
something you
to-
wanna. It's not. That's not standing up to. That's
But
being
they're not-
being
but-
allowed
okay,
to
that-
barely live.
dying.
But
Right.
they're not standing up to it. Only a small number is.
Well,
if the United
eesh.
If the United States government decided to turn its guns on its quote unquote citizens, then the question is what percentage of citizens and how widespread would the guerrilla action be? If it's very, very small, like you're saying, Dylan, they'll be able to put that down pretty easily. If it's widespread, it'll be immensely costly.
Unless it's
I
armies
am-
of two.
I used to always believe that it will be widespread, and
Okay.
now I'm kind of in Dylan's camp.
Paul,
I did
kind
too.
of
I
feel
did
like-
too. I used to think that well, first off, the government's never going to do that. They don't need to. They can take everything else but your gun. Whatever.
Yeah, they'll take your bank account, your credit rating,
you-
your
have-
child's
They don't have to
custody.
take your gun anymore. It's just
Or
your gun.
your
licenses.
children.
Yeah, child custody, right? Go ahead, Jim.
That's very easy for them.
Again, there's a lot of other examples throughout history. Paul, did you listen to Professor CJ's series with Bill Bupert on irregular warfare and irregular and asymmetrical warfare?
You get Carl in the next show with him in Germany.
There's actually a lot of precedent for this where people actually are. It's because when you know the terrain better and you don't have
What are you talking about? We're both Americans. We both live here on both sides. It's a civil war. There's no terrain advantage. There's no home advantage. It's a civil war.
Every
That's
town's
absolute-
built the same.
That's absolutely not true at all.
All the same. Yes, it
I
is. It's all
I
the
actually
same.
doubt, Dylan, that they're going to send troops from Harrisburg to lock down Harrisburg. They're
No.
probably going to send troops from other places to lock down
They're
Harrisburg.
going to be
Yeah, like
police.
Germany.
They're going to be police. They're going to be federal agents. They're going to be National Guard.
So,
No
so
one's gonna
before
do
we go
anything.
down too far on this rabbit trail, let me ask you this: how many people? I'm kind of with Dylan here too. How many people think the U.S. government is going to just suddenly turn their guns, like just come out naked and say, "That's it. We're turning your guns. We're locking everything down. We're taking all your guns. This is it."
This is what you're going to do. Okay. Exactly what you're going to do.
Can I have a
because
Pop Tart?
they're not going to make an announcement that they're going to send out troops. They're going to say, "Hey, you got guns, and we know it because we know who has guns."
No, you know what they're gonna say?
There
is,
goes your
"Oh,
credit rating.
There's terrorists in your town, and there's these
Can't
attacks,
use that again.
and we need to move in to protect you."
Yeah,
Katrina.
And they'll ask for quarter, and
We're
they'll
gonna use
get
natural
quarter.
disasters, states of emergency, FEMA. That's how they do it. They did it in Katrina.
They do it already.
And
yeah.
guess
when
and
what
they
what
need
did
to.
in
They
Katrina,
handed
they actually
over
went door to
guns.
door. Yeah,
It's actually not.
Except for the
fair.
old chick. It was like, fuck it, that was awesome.
yeah.
But and then you had out of that, what did you get out of that? You had Stuart Rhodes, who was on the ground with the National Guard. He came out, forms the Oath Keepers, turns into a State von Status, and I love thank you, Paul, for that term. He
State
turns
von
into a
State
State von Status.
He always
himself.
was. He didn't turn
He
into.
was, but he had his idea of freedom. He had his idea of keeping this oath to the Constitution. But that's even gone now. Now he's just all about the money. That's why when I was in the Oath Keepers, we broke off from the Oath Keepers, and then I just didn't get along with the people because they were just dumb. They're pussies. They couldn't even organize a fucking range.
Yeah,
I got militias that can't organize a range.
My
think they're a
belief.
threat to
That's
me?
the government's fault, man. There's all these regulations, man.
My belief is that the United States government schools have done a very effective job in creating very passive people. And the overwhelming majority of people are passive.
I would say
and they're very
I would say more
they're passive.
more than I don't like the passive. Compliant. Compliant.
Well, it depends on how you're using the word passive, doesn't it?
Well, I'm just trying to get at a different. I think it's a step up.
Passive is compliant.
Passive is just letting it happen. I'm saying I think it's more that they're
Compliant is too.
not just
Yeah,
complying,
but
but they're doing. It implies more of an action. I think.
Yeah.
But compliant,
I'm trying
I
to.
Compliant does
know,
not necessarily comply.
Okay, no, I get what you're I get what you're saying about a step up. It's more than just it's more than
think that'd be
apathy.
Yeah,
Because
I'm gonna run out
passive to me in that context seems more like apathy.
because it's not.
Where
It's like
compliance
the difference
is
if a cop
is
came-
is
if a cop
is a
comes in
conscious
and I
decision,
just I'm just like and I just handcuffs me and carries me out, or if I just
Yeah.
like, oh, here's all the evidence, like that's what people do. That's what we heard. We heard a similar story today.
Okay, but okay.
I'm going to stick with passive.
dude.
When you have I'm going to say that they're largely passive. I think some are compliant, but most of them it's a passive it's a passivity issue. They have accepted that government has this certain role and you don't question it. You don't question authority. When you have these gung-ho Tea Party activists, they're charging forward talking about Obamacare, and Obamacare passes and the Supreme Court rules, and you have a situation where the U.S. government just took control over a vital service. Now, we can argue about our healthcare system and what it's based on. That's
Please
Bad
let's
story
not.
altogether.
Please let's
Right.
not.
Right. But nothing. Crickets. That should have been more than enough for people to rise up and do whatever they had to do. Don't comply. And it didn't happen. They're passive. They're milk toast. They're
The
beaten
3%
down.
T tax. The 3% T tax. These people talk about the founding fathers, American Revolution again. A 3% T tax. Are you kidding me? Have you looked at your income taxes lately?
Oh, it wasn't.
No,
really-
you're not going to do anything. You're
wasn't
going to be a
about
little
the
bitch.
3%.
You're going to sit
Okay.
at home. You're going to watch Fox
It wasn't
News
about
and
the
do nothing.
tax. Everybody still wanted a tax. They just
No, I know
wanted
it's
it not to
about
go
the
to
tax.
Parliament.
They didn't want it to go to Parliament.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what the revolution really was. I'm sorry, people. It wasn't about freeing anyone.
Washington.
It was about
no, it
what
was-
tyrant you want to rule you.
Right.
Okay.
It was
It
keep
still
it
wasn't about truth.
keep it local.
Yeah, let's keep the tyrants local.
Well, yes, but I'm in agreement with you guys that the current crop of people are not going to do anything. I think you misunderstood what I was saying. I'm simply saying that with an actual dedicated group, it can and has been done before in the past throughout history. Why? Because guerrilla warfare and asymmetrical warfare will always top the technology because
No
it
way.
just yeah
The
no
U.S. Army infantry fights guerrilla warfare. The Marine Corps fights guerrilla warfare.
Quite effectively.
You lose. There's no scenario. You lose.
You might have another
They're better.
The enemy has like
Your little
hordes of
militia
people.
meeting in the woods. Hey, check it out. Predator
Done.
drone. Boom. Gone. Bye. You're useless now. And what good are you if you just stand up and get shot?
It's just that they
This
keep
isn't a
coming.
fucking war movie, man.
They
It's not a war
It's-
movie.
they keep
Again,
coming.
it's-
You died,
because there's
and now you're useless.
someone elsewhere.
again,
Good job.
dude.
I don't
Dude.
think Jeremy's advocating for guerrilla war here.
No.
No.
I know what he's saying. We've had this
No, you
conversation.
don't. No, and because you still,
I don't think
still,
you do
s-
either. I don't
you
think
still
you're getting what
don't.
Jeremy's
You
saying.
still don't. Then, dude, it's such because again, it comes down to simple numbers.
Wow.
I know where he's going.
They
Well,
don't
it-
have
it's-
the numbers.
You don't need numbers.
Don't need numbers.
That's why we have technology. It's a force multiplier.
Right.
One man
I
can
know where
become an
you're going.
army.
I know exactly where you're going. We've had this conversation plenty of times.
Well,
You don't
the
need-
audience hasn't.
Numbers works for non-compliance. Numbers works for when you're not shooting back.
Right.
But numbers does not work in a war. Not today's world.
Sure, it does. When
Oh.
has it ever been given the opportunity to do so that you can claim no, it doesn't? When have the people that are actually going to fight back, when that time comes, have they been armed and able to do so? When?
They're armed and able to do so right now.
No. And they haven't come.
When?
No. When in history has it happened that the government has come for the people at that time, and the revolution that happened? When were the people prepared?
I'm talking about now. I'm talking about technology now. I'm not talking about technology in 2000 because it was far less advanced.
It doesn't matter what technology was then, because it's the gap between the
Are
gorilla.
you really going to say it doesn't matter what technology one of the sides has versus the other?
If the British had walkie-talkies.
Because again, you're assuming the other. You're automatically assuming the other side has nothing.
No.
You make all these assumptions to automatically say, no, they would win.
Assumptions. You literally just said that the technology doesn't matter.
No. What Jeremy was talking about, I think, Jeremy, what you're saying is the gap between them and the insurgents isn't as great as you would be led to believe.
No. The gap. No. The advancements in technology. It's not the same war that the insurgents way back then or even in 2000 were fighting either. Like you're assuming that this side has nothing, and that's not true either.
What does this side have?
This side has the same people.
What's your cell phone that they could tap into?
Or all that ammunition you keep in your house.
What does this side have? What does this malicious side in America have over the U.S. government? As far
what
as
does
technology?
the militia have? I don't know what the militias have, but I know how quickly things can form, and I know that the army, the military can't be anywhere, everywhere, all at once. It can't just. And again, if it's isolated, if it's small, they can clamp down pretty quick. The United States of America is a vast land. Now, you tell me how many troops, how many units, whatever number, how many units do you think it would take to hold the United States of America if pretty much across the country you had 10-15% of the population that was committed to insurgency across the country? How many troops would 1%. The United States need to hold that land? Dylan. What's that?
1%.
Very little. Because you're talking about troops. I'm not talking about troops.
Well, are you just talking about a whole bunch of robots? Do you think that you just need one guy with a gazillion drones?
No, you just need an election.
How many personnel do you need to run all the stuff that
a drone and a UAV and all that even is to even understand that?
No, I don't have to understand that. The question is, how much personnel would you need to operate the equipment that it would take to hold a land that doesn't want to be held?
1%.
I can't tell you.
1%. So you're saying if you have 300 million people, then you need 3 million troops to hold that land. Are you saying that, Dylan? It takes 3 million personnel to run that?
Hold on. Stop. Bodhi said 1%.
Yeah, I said 1%.
And then you sounded like you agreed with him.
I said he's saying 1%.
The question.
I thought you were agreeing with him. I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's a question I'd have to look into. I can't give you that number right now.
Yeah. Well, I will, because I don't really care.
There's equipment I don't even know about. I'm just a grunt.
Yeah. And in addition to that, what kind of technology do you? I mean, technology is getting to the point
TV,
where it's becoming more open. It's not as it's not held on to in as near as much secret as it used to be when they could hide things. Now you got folks that are working across the world that are coming together in virtual labs that are coming up with stuff on their own, and you got low tech, high tech.
That's what I was getting at.
That can can put a major monkey wrench, like little EMPs or whatever the hell else they can come up with. I can't even. I mean, I don't know the technology that well, but I'm sure that and among those people, who do you have? You have you. You have people like you that know the system, that ran the systems, so
I'm
they know
leaving.
where the weaknesses.
I'm not. I want to make this claim right now. If there's a civil war between militias
No,
and
I don't mean
government,
you specifically. I'm just saying people like you, people that have been in the military, that know the system, that ran the
we
system.
can teach you tactics you could learn online if you took the time to learn yourself.
No, I don't mean the tactics. Well, tactics in part too, but also, okay, technology. What kind of technologies do they use? Where are the vulnerabilities? How do they
Rain.
operate?
Cold
Who do
weather.
you take?
Where's the vulnerability of the drone?
There's not just
That's trying to
I'm
shoot
just
that
talking about.
down.
I'm
The
only talking
F-16, the
about.
F-22, the bombers, the nukes.
I don't
Yeah,
know
there's
how to
ways
fly
to
those
from
things.
So I mean,
You take those down?
they can't F-16 the country into
You think you
submission.
can compete that?
They can't drone.
Yes, they
the
can.
Yeah. They
Well,
have a
yes,
couple
they can.
A-10s
Yeah,
fucking
they could
Burt
do it.
Burton, too.
How much
Drone,
military
They
Right.
could
could
kill everyone. They could kill everyone, and the cost of
they
coercion.
don't.
They
that
wouldn't
they-
kill everyone. They would kill enough people to get people to be compliant. Demoralize them, and then they become...
or in killing people, they'll galvanize more people against them. Boy, that's never happened before.
Right,
Never.
but it's a very nice
Never
ratio.
Right. Yeah, I think we're speculating about stuff that
No, but the
Right.
Yeah, but-
Yeah, that's a good point.
it's going to depend on how people react, and I don't think we can say with certain how, because they've reacted differently in.
I
different
never, but see,
situations.
that was the whole point. From the beginning, I never said how people react. I was simply pointing out that it could be done. I was never
I
saying
understand
that. I was
I
never saying that
understand
people can. And the point that you started to make, Paul, about the people creating stuff, beyond that, why is the government always and governments in general, why are they always and the people with the supposed top, the top corporations with lots of money and the best security systems, why are they the ones who always get hacked? Because the people on the other side are always one step ahead of those fuckers.
What is
Between
being hacked?
and the black market, anything that the government, just about anything the government has its hands on that they could supposedly use, you can almost definitely acquire through somebody else.
Probably the government.
Possibly the government.
Or, somebody
but that-
from the government who will offer you the.
But people from other governments, people from like whatever, like all that stuff can be acquired if you really want it.
What other governments?
And what are you really going to acquire? You can acquire a tank from China, but where are you going to put it?
Whose side is the United Nations going to be on?
Do you think without
New York City?
a destabilized United States? I don't think there's a United Nations with a destabilized United States. United States.
But you have to destabilize it first.
No, you'd have to. The only thing you have.
Well,
no,
if they had to launch a major war against their own people, then it would be destabilized.
the UN, the UN
all
will
of its
be there.
resources would have to be pointed inward.
The
What do you
U-
think the rest of the countries are going to do when they see that?
The UN
They're
does
going to
not.
go.
The,
They're going to go after the China. China will go march on the China Sea, and Russia will go march on Eastern Europe.
the UN will not dissolve if the US just falls apart. It needs to fall apart up to and into New York City. And that's gonna be a citadel. That's not gonna be.
And
There's
of
no
course,
way.
Jeremy,
A huge trade
Dylan,
port.
all of this assumes that in that scenario, that all of the soldiers will comply.
Most of them will. I will make that claim. Most of them will. There was a good point from the audience. That is not even a proper question because there are too many factors not being taken into account. The type of people in that area, different ages, races,
Actually,
passive, etc.
We kind of hinted at that there's so many unknowns as far as how people will react. It's hard to guess what the level of commitment will be. If you bomb a few people with a drone, will that have the effect of bringing people into complacency, or will it galvanize more people to fight harder? You don't know. It really depends on the people, and I don't have a lot of faith now in these
Evidence
folks.
suggests it works.
Well, I don't know. They do seem to piss off a lot of people that end up turning around and using the weapons against them later on.
But really, only once you're at the doorstep.
Right, the weapons, but that's the weapons that was given to them, not the weapons that we're not going to give weapons to the malicious.
In America,
No,
you can make your-
Peshmerga.
Oh no!
Even
Oh,
the
you
Kurds,
don't.
they're fucked.
You
They-
don't. You
they've
don't.
already
You don't.
scrounged up their own shit.
You don't think the powers that be.
resources in America.
You don't think the powers that be have a backup plan in case something does like that happens to the United States, that they're not perfectly willing to fund both sides, just like they've funded both sides of every other major conflict throughout the past couple hundred years?
Well, they still
So,
gotta do
so
it.
let me ask you this, Dylan.
I could very easily see them get. I could very easily seeing a future situation like that where an actual force of people who is willing to fight back getting funded by the same people that actually fund the U.S. You know.
Let me ask you this, Dylan. You have, if I understand you, and I may not, you may not be given the full nuance of exactly what you're trying to communicate, or I might not be understanding you. It seems
No,
like
you
what
guys
you're
are.
saying is, what's
This is
that?
the point of Veteran Anarchy University.
I actually, that's kind of where I was going with this, which is, it seems to me that what you're saying is the reality is such that unless it changes, that if the government ever chose to lock it down, that there's really not much that we could do. Veteran anarchy could effectively reach people that would right now be useful tools that maybe later will not.
I don't look at people as tools.
Well, I don't either, but the government does.
Yeah, but that would if you were to say that it could get, they could lock it down right now, then that'd be way less than that 1% number Bodhi threw out. What's the total number of?
I just gave it a number so we could just get.
No.
through it.
What's the total number of military? Isn't it something like under 1 million?
No, it's not under 1 million.
It's not much more than that, is it?
No, a million. I think it's 1.1 million's Army Reserve, National Guard, and active duty.
Yeah, it's-
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so,
I can look it up real quick. I mean, it's not
but
that hard.
I thought it was somewhere in that territory. So that's what?
Still a lot.
What percent? Yeah, but what
Yeah, but
percentage is that?
you also need to add police in there and the police have been so militarized.
Poli-
they can probably
poli-
integrate them.
police, the last numbers I have, which I believe are from 2 years ago, are still at 1.1 million as well.
About 2 million folks.
Right, and
2 million.
everything's still under control.
No, you said
Oh.
3% or one. If you were right, I know it was
Approximately 2.2 million.
Okay,
1.3 million active and 800,000 in the reserve.
a
Now
trade.
this is as of 2015.
all right. So then it is 3. So then
So then there you go, Dylan. You got your number.
So-
or
so
Bodhi,
yes-
sorry,
So
Bodhi, you got
Plus
your
you
number.
have the active ready reserve, which is not in that number.
So really, you probably
Yes,
could do it
it's
with 1% if you were really dedicated.
Well,
You
that's
already
assuming.
have 1%.
Of course,
I know.
that would be assuming.
But
That
I'm
would be
saying,
assuming that all of
But you
those
gotta-
folks would go along with you, and some of them wouldn't turn on you. I'm willing to bet that some would turn on you.
oh yeah, good point. Contractors.
Yeah.
That changed. Yeah, the Hessians. Right.
yeah, man. I'm willing to bet that between people that are disenfranchised, like yourself, Dylan, at least like yourself a year or so ago, there's other people out there like that are close. I think between that and the people that could be bought out by, say, the side that wanted to take the government on, I'm guessing you could probably get like maybe a quarter, maybe, of that 3 million.
Seriously,
You
guys.
know, I'll just say that
Maybe
how
100,000.
I see America today, the people today, as I understand them, and granted, there's a lot of information I don't have, so this is speculation.
Chain smoking. I love you.
I do
for saying
not.
chain
I do
smoking.
not have a lot of faith in people standing up to force right now.
No, I don't.
No, right now, no.
And here's
Like
the thing, and of course we're assuming that this is a full-on war. We all know it's not going to be like that. It's
No,
going to
Yeah,
be masked
no,
under something.
we went down this scenario, but I think we all agree that's a very highly unlikely scenario. But at a personal level, I'm a type of person that I have a hard time facing a world that I don't feel like I control, even though, of course, I know I live in that world. And it is difficult for me to accept a scenario that somehow, if the government wanted to, they could just shut it down. It's a difficult pill to swallow. It's
How do you
just
shut down the world?
psychologically a difficult pill.
The world
What's
doesn't
that?
the world cannot be shut down.
Well,
It cannot be shut down. Relax, like it's okay. Like the world will be fine.
dispense with all the illusions of freedom that you still have left.
I don't have.
And I said the illusions of freedom that you still have left. I didn't say you had freedoms. I said the illusions.
No, we said
Not
we
not
don't.
you.
No,
Not you. Okay, but not you personally, Bodhi. I'm speaking in the general you. So all of the illusions that you have left in the general sense of the word. Oh my gosh, talking to anarchists with language is so. Okay. If they decided that, you know what, we're just going to dispense with this and just let you know, you live in a police state. This is the reality. They could do it. And I don't think there's not much that other than people like me trying to escape underground and get to some other place. There's not a lot of hope here for this land right this moment in time.
I'm going to the mountains. Right out west.
See, I don't see it that way anymore because I keep coming across more and more people that are asking questions regularly, and you know the numbers of people I've met over the past couple of, like,
how many?
How many? What? How many what?
How many numbers? You said numbers. What are the numbers?
Well, I've connected with over 1,000 people just myself, and I've seen the numbers. It's not the Jesus Christ, Dylan.
What's that?
Oh no, I'm 1,000.
This is relevant. It's not about. It's not about the numbers. It's not about the numbers. It's not about.
But the point is the people that are out there asking questions and the people that are joining the more liberty-minded, anarchist-minded, whatever communities are continuing to grow every year, and this is Dave and I just talked about this the other night. This right now, as soon as this election is over, is a perfect opportunity to reach out to even more of these people.
I would say during.
No. The people that the people on the losing side. If you want to look for some,
well, they want vengeance.
Election. Nobody
was
cares.
it? Well, no, because there's gonna be people. There's always people that are really not just pissed off that their person lost, but honestly, for the first time, starting to go, wait a minute, is this really like all bullshit? Like whatever, like, you know, and
I would normally agree with you, but in this election, I don't see that.
No,
if you would have had a Sanders up there, maybe.
Well, no, because when Sanders went down, and then it was pretty much proven that he took the fucking fall the whole time.
Primaries.
But that's not the point. Enough people now have that information that are still, because what we Dave and I talked about the other night was the fact that if you do that, people will get disenfranchised and start to get disillusioned altogether, and then if they are not given any more information during that time frame, yes, it's very easy to slip back into, all right, well, fuck, this just sucks. This is just the way it is. And if anything,
because anarchists are bad like that.
They end up in apathy. Instead, if they're given new information during this time, and they're given a new way to look at things.
How do you give that to someone, though?
I got to say something here, because this is Anarchy Action, and
this is what I'm talking about.
This is freaking doom and gloom here.
Yeah.
Not what you're talking. No, Jeremy,
severely...
not what you're talking about. But it seems that I mean, Dylan, I'm listening to you, and what I'm hearing from you is nope, Nope. Nope. Nope.
Would you want me to
and
answer your fucking questions, honestly, or not? If you ask me fucking
no,
questions and you make fucking points and I fucking disagree with them,
I actually
don't get butthurt because I have a different
I'm
answer
not.
than
Actually, you are right now. It seems like, but I'm not.
No, because you're in the middle of the show right now. You're coming after and you're saying nope, 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 no. Yeah, because I disagree.
Right.
Well-
Well, I can understand the disagreement
Is,
though
is
because
there a
it's
number of no's versus yeses? Do I have to say yes at some point?
it's not doom
How
and
about-
gloom though. It's not doom and
how about-
gloom.
It's not. It's actually been a very
It's-
exciting show.
I think the no's were the most hopeful part. Numbers don't
Well,
matter.
that-
We
I
have
like
the
that
technology
sentence.
and we
That's
can
the
do it
sentence for you.
with a very small number of people because most of the population goes along with it as long as you don't blow them up.
Yeah, well, that's
Like
a really good point.
we
Yeah.
don't have to go to war. There doesn't have to be another
know.
war. There doesn't have to be a revolution.
I don't think anybody's advocating for that.
No.
I'm not
Oh,
saying
yeah.
you are. I'm just
Nobody.
saying there does. I'm announcing to the world there doesn't have to be a war.
Do you got Do you got a responses there, Dylan?
Responses to what?
Oh,
You gave a bunch of answers. You
no,
didn't
no,
answer.
no. I thought you had seen some questions or something from the
Not
stream.
needing to be said.
Okay. Okay. So
He's calling one of us or all of us assholes, and
probably.
Well, no,
they don't
actually,
want to
they
listen.
just
Want to listen to us
they
anymore.
pretty much. Well, no, they just say what I said, so why repeat it?
Oh,
Because I don't want to be a person who says, "Hey, I know people who say stuff who agree with me, so I'm right." So I'm not going to do that.
No, it's
If they're
okay
saying
if
the
you-
same thing as me, why bring it on the show?
oh, okay.
Why bring what on the show? Oh, never mind. I get it.
Well.
The question there.
Whew.
I guess my point, Dylan, is maybe there's a response to yeah, no, that wouldn't work. I maybe there's an alternative that you can offer instead of
Giving you that alternative, it's not war. It's a peaceful revolution. Non-compliance. It's what Jeremy's talked about.
Yeah.
We've
The heart of
the
it
show
all.
before.
Yeah, because again, I was never advocating this. I was just.
Jeremy, I know you weren't. None of this is personal. If you're taking it personal,
I'm not taking
I'm
it.
not.
I think a
I'm
lot
not.
of it- It's a lot of the
Trying to
rhetoric.
get better understanding, though.
A lot of the rhetoric we're commenting on is necessarily drawing us into this place where we have nothing else but to talk about these great disparities and these great tragedies.
So I can only share with you my perspective, Dylan, is we just went down and it's I'm not saying I'm not putting it all on you. It's and maybe it's a good thing. I might listen back to the show. It's like, oh man, I missed that. Oh, I didn't get that.
Right, we gotta sing.
But
Why
I
can't
don't-
we be friends?
no, she said just read it.
I'm cool with everybody here. I got no
She's
problem.
commenting on me not reading her comments.
I know, so I started singing it.
Oh,
But
What
no,
else, viewers?
I guess to me it started to just sound like we were just piling on no, and maybe I said you, Dylan, but maybe it's not really.
I
maybe
said no. You came
Right,
back
right.
with the same shit.
Maybe,
Someone said
maybe
no
I
instead.
shouldn't direct it at you, but maybe we just went down this long scenario where we kept coming to no. However, we came there, we kept coming to no. And what is
What's
the
wrong with
yes? Why don't we talk about the yes? Why don't we
Well,
try to get this show over with a yes?
You know what happens when you find a no? You find a way not to do it.
You just don't.
Oh,
do
I
it.
agree. Yes, absolutely.
What's wrong
But
with finding no's?
no, there's nothing wrong with finding no's.
Ah!
Okay.
Sorry.
I've
I
given
still
you a
fool
yes.
myself.
Yeah, you
Nuclear
did, and it was a good yes. It was, and I actually agree with that. Yes, I am.
I do.
I'm
too.
all about non-compliance. I'm all about people being empowered to say no. Oh gosh. I want to empower people to say no.
You said
after I
no.
did-
I'd like to replace.
You just gave that long-winded speech just to be able to say no anyway.
To be able to say no.
Right. So let me finish
Do
this
it.
right.
Right.
All right, let's move on.
It's the
No.
idea that
And now
it's not about
you know,
no's. No more. Hold on. No more no's. there's a way to speak about things and action and what we should do, and what we should do is to focus on what we can do. Focus on what we can do. Why is there always this negative? And there's always, why do we speak of a bad thing if the answer is something else? Why do we keep with that dichotomy, these constant dichotomies of on and off? I think it's just the way we're. I don't know if it's the way we're wired, or if it's just the way we're used to talking, or if it's what we're watching and interpreting. We necessarily have to return it that way. But we can think about if we just drove towards what we do, what we can do now.
Well, actually, as I'm thinking about it, I responded to Dylan wrong. I actually think this is a good exercise, and it's a good exercise for other people to hear, because in the back of a lot of people's minds, there is this idea that we can somehow stand up to the big Leviathan. When the time comes, when the balloon drops, we can pick up our guns and we'll be able to stop the Leviathan. And no, you won't be able to stop Leviathan at that point. The only way that you can't stop the Leviathan. You just have to undo it by releasing yourself from the dependence on it. You, your neighbors, connecting to folks one person at a time, and enabling and helping others to be non-compliant. That'll be far more effective. But as long as you have this fantasy in your head, it's kind of like voting. Like you can get your salvation with voting. You can get your salvation with guns. It removes you from pursuing the harder but more realistic path of putting yourself in a position where you can afford to be non-compliant and helping others to do the same.
You know what? I got beef with that word now.
Non-compliance?
Non-compliance. Why? Why not positive interactions? Or something that's just not... Why do we start with a negative all the time? The non-aggression principle, the non-this, the non-that. It's fucking bullshit.
But it's the useful language.
But no, it's not useful if it's necessarily putting us in these dark places.
It is useful.
Touchdown.
It's not.
Touchdown.
Where are you saying touchdown to?
Touchdown. To him. Why do we always
no,
negative?
no, because
Touchdown?
There's no no. Do we gotta take it to a review?
yeah, we do.
Trying to throw some humor in here, man.
I just had an epiphany.
No, I understand where you're coming from with the
Just try it. No more no's for the rest of the show.
No more no. You just said no.
Whoa, universe fractures.
No more no's. You said 2 no's.
Fine. Only positive statements. How's that?
That's better.
Okay, but I just
I misspoke.
Oh
no! Ah!
Don't tell me what to do.
those,
I am complying. I am not complying. No.
No. Listen. The problem is that those 2 words in particular that the non is in front of are words that you don't want to happen. So it I unfortunately, like Paul said,
That's it though.
Want to happen.
Why you
Not what you don't want to happen.
When you close the door on something, you necessarily affirm its existence.
Okay.
I'm not. I missed that.
Yeah, if you're slamming the door on something, you're basically defining it as bad. You're creating it.
Well, there are things that I want to define as bad.
Yeah, because they may not exist, but they're going to be there, at least based on how things have worked for quite a long time. Like other bad people who are going to do bad things that I'm not going to like.
Probably because they think of bad things.
Think it and make it. I don't.
Right. So why? How could working in that system? How is working within the system? How is working within the system ever going to fix it when it's corrupt from the ground up?
talking about working within the system, and
Of
now
language.
you're talking about the system in a negative way. You're making it a bad thing. You're making it real. Why are you
Yes,
doing
I
that?
am. In order to observe it right now from another perspective.
So confused.
I am too. The phrase non-compliance simply means
It's already
that the orders by the state to do things that violate your liberty, you have the power to say, I'm not going along with that. That's all that means. That's it. It's that simple. It's not a language exercise. It's real simple. And I'm not bringing anything into existence by wishing that people were empowered to be non-compliant. What are the comments going on right now?
I'm not looking at. Actually, we've had a pretty good viewing this entire time and consistent comments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank
I've
you.
been trying to get to some of them, but
Well, I'd like to hear them. I like comments.
change this lack of a topic, please.
Yeah,
So the question,
Good.
the question up here was, how do you guys feel about the warnings about North Korea targeting U.S. within this month, nuclear attack in October?
They haven't been able to reach the U.S. yet. I don't think North Korea is ready to reach the U.S. yet. Still, like I don't know. Is that like does anybody else think that's a viable threat?
No, I don't think
it's a viable threat. No.
I don't think they've been able to reach anything further than like out past.
No, because isn't there? It's like shows a picture of an article in like 1985, and it was like North Korea 2 days away from nuclear missile.
Yeah, it's been every other week or so. It's they're close. They're close. It's like Iran. Iran's gonna have the bomb, man.
That was a huge thing in 2012. Or no, it was Iran nuclear missile. That article, but that was a huge thing in 2012. Like, they're gonna have nukes. Here we are 4 years later.
Yeah, I was told by insiders. Iran's going to have the nuclear bomb within 60 days, and Israel is about ready to launch a major assault on Iran within the next 30 days. And then it didn't happen. Like, no. Now it will. And then it didn't happen. No.
It's like the people who always predict the end of the world, but just keep changing it every time it doesn't work out. Like, oh, I misread this. It's actually Tuesday, 2018. Sorry, wrong calendar.
Yeah, it's basically fear porn. That's what I'm going to say.
Well, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's what all that stuff is. There is really no current actual threat to U.S. soil, as far as I know, in the geopolitical landscape.
Well, other than the Zika virus, it's
okay.
Probably us out.
That probably has the most significant chance of actually doing harm.
Actually, it does. Which is yes, exactly. Which is
so
also like
because
also fear porn. Yes.
You know, it's like the way the whole joke about the ISIS Air Force that a lot of neocons seem to think exists, that all of a sudden ISIS is just going to overrun the fucking country. Where the fuck do you think these people are going to come from?
Yes, yeah. If it wasn't for the military, we'd all be speaking Arab right now. That's
seriously. Well, yeah. Well, exactly.
Dylan,
it's like the line about the Germans. How the fuck they were going to fly across the country? They had fucking wiped themselves out. Across the world, rather. Sorry. Dylan.
Nothing, Dylan. We're looking at you, man.
Yeah, if I have a comment, I'll come in and say there's a comment.
Oh, I thought you had more comments. You said a lot of comments. You did say we had a lot of comments, so I missed.
Not if
you think I won't interrupt you.
Not if you had a comment. If other people had comments or questions.
Yeah, not you, Dylan.
I'm saying if other people had comments or questions,
I told you there wasn't much.
Oh.
No, there is much, but there's not at this exact second. I don't know why you keep trying to discredit your own show.
I'm not trying to discredit anything.
Jeremy, you built this.
I haven't built squat.
Oh, what?
Well, to get back to okay, fine. So we got hung up on the language part of it, but we agree on the.
No, I got hung up on the doom and gloom view on it.
I think it's dead horse.
Anyway, so yeah.
It's beaten. We've gone over. Obviously, hardheads are not going to soften or open up right now.
Well, no, I'm just mush.
I was trying to move past.
I just want to hug him and pet him and squeeze him and love him.
All right. So,
hey, hold on.
So I'm going to go to the actual thing that I had written down that we never even went to. We never got past, like, we got to debate commentary, And then I was supposed to say how much is it real or fake, and somehow we got off into militia land.
I don't know how
I
we did that.
swear I was
That's
waiting
about
for
as
Carl to
fake
show
as
up
you
in
get.
comments. All right,
It's
Paul, this is a question you posed in the pre-show. Do
But
you have to be called an anarchist?
No.
yes, you must be.
Okay, I apologize, Jeremy. I changed my opinion to yes. I think Jeremy has drones, and I'm intimidated. No, you don't have to be called an anarchist. I know that there are beliefs that I have that some people will say you can't be an anarchist, and I don't just mean my Christian beliefs. I mean other beliefs that I might have. Like some people will say if you're a capitalist, you can't be an anarchist. There's all kinds of. You guys know the hyphen wars. So
I'm quite
to me, it
I'm
doesn't
quite
matter.
familiar.
I still call myself an anarchist, and I don't care what anybody says, whether you want to call me an anarchist or not. I like the word as kind of a, I guess it's a brutal way to begin a conversation. And right now, I'm kind of up for brutal conversations with people right now. I'm a little ticked at them. So anarchist is effective. But really, at the end of the day, what I really am is I'm simply a non-coercionist. I don't believe in the initiation.
There's that negativity again.
Can I just call you Paul?
Well, I am not complying with Bodhi's orders.
It's not an order.
Well, I know.
Suggestion
But
for a better
didn't
future.
I didn't comply with your suggestion.
For a better tomorrow.
I am non-compliant.
Better
with
now.
Bodhi's suggestion. There you go. But essentially, at the end of the day, I want to see the cost of coercion becoming more and more expensive, so that less and less people initiate it. There, that's my answer. That's it.
Right. I guess.
What was the question?
How many
have-
feet do I have?
Do you have to be called
Oh.
an anarchist?
So the question was, do you have to be called an anarchist?
Oh, I don't even understand. Like, I don't really necessarily like. What do you mean? Do you have to be like that? Just automatically, like, why? I know. I think I know why you were.
Yeah,
I know. I know, Paul. Why? I know why you. I know. I think I know what was behind the question, but the question itself, like, I don't know. Does anybody have to be called anything?
Well, some people think you do, and they'll block you and unfriend you and disassociate with you if you can't be called an anarchist.
Hey, Bob.
Right. No, that's where the question comes from. It's from what I'm seeing in this quote unquote community.
That's different between what I see. Isn't there a difference between you calling yourself an anarchist and other people calling you an anarchist or not?
No, what I'm seeing in the community is they'll say, yes, you have to be an anarchist. And if you don't fit their particular definition of an anarchist, then they will disassociate with you.
Yeah.
So the question is meant to stir that conversation.
Oh, well, okay.
Well,
Like I said, I just.
Here's a comment. Why does everything have to be labeled? Our first
Well, that's
episode
also
of
the
Radio
point.
Agora was labelism.
No one is
Yeah.
going to feel any, or
There's
no one
a-
is going to feel the same about everything across the board.
Exactly. That's right.
No, there isn't. But there's
Labels.
idiots who.
No label.
I guess for me, from my perspective, the frustration that I have is there's this much larger community that, I mean, we don't have to work as closely together with everyone. Like, I'll work together closely more with this person than I will that person. But the
Right.
larger community, there's stuff that we can do to help one another achieve the same goal, which is whether you want to phrase it to see a world where people fundamentally reject the whole notion of coercive enterprises, states, whatever you want to call it, or end the state, however you want to phrase it.
I would like to phrase it as a future
a-
where it's not
there's a
even
large-
conceivable.
Yeah, and I agree with you.
If you're gonna go
That's the future
utopia,
that I
let's go
want.
utopia.
There's this large group of people and we don't have to work so closely together, but we're cutting ourselves off from one another, and we're viciously tearing each other apart and invalidating one another. And
You're not
I
a
mean-
real ANCAP. If you don't
Right.
accept the NAP, then you're not a real anarchist. You're an aggressionist.
right,
I am
right.
self-proclaimed old anarchy ball. Rah.
Oh, don't that idiot. Stop giving him
Doesn't-
press time
doesn't
anymore.
We're
that
talking
make
about
us-
press time. Come on.
Does that make us
Come on.
hypocrites?
What?
I'm not sure.
Does
It
what
looked like
make it-
it looked like the
Well, if
comment
you're
was
gonna
typed
ask
after
a
a part.
question,
Well, it's
Well,
part of it.
does what make us hypocrites though?
yeah, that's a.
I,
that's
I
a-
think she's saying because we're talking about labels,
Right.
does it make us hypocrites that we're using labels?
Well, you can't. You
Yeah.
can't
Which is a label.
You can't avoid using labels. The question is, how rigidly do you stand by those labels? You can't avoid it, Bodhi. You have a label, Bodhi. You have a label, Andrew.
Right. But I don't have to use it.
You don't have to, but if you want people to be able to identify you, you're going to
I
have
mean,
to have
Andrew's not
sort of
Andrew.
identifier.
It's
It's just a convenient label.
individual identifier.
Right.
Dylan's an individual identifier. James is a
Yeah.
woman or a mother side identifier. Robinson's
And that's
a
okay.
dad.
It does make us hypocrites. Oh, well, it makes it. I'll say I'm a hypocrite.
You'd be a
Wait a minute.
hypocrite if you said, I'm not a hypocrite because I
don't have a problem with labels, so I don't know why.
I don't have a problem with labels. I have a problem to rigidly adhering to labels.
Well, that's
and
why I'm a
unnecessarily
hypocrite,
dividing.
because it's another label.
You can't avoid the label, whatever it is that you are. If you're going to describe it, unless you use
He's
very
not
vague.
saying that he can.
Unless I
He's saying
understand.
that he's a hypocrite.
That's right.
Right. By the standards of labeling, yeah.
He's acknowledging that. He's not even making an argument. He's acknowledging he's a hypocrite. There's no.
I don't think it's a
argument.
bad thing. Everybody's a hypocrite.
And
Paul,
on that,
question.
Sure.
Paul, you have been accused by the audience of framing the question.
how so?
I don't know. The audience. I don't know why I look down at the phone.
Can you
Audience.
expand? Can you expand upon that, please, audience
Yeah.
member?
Paul framed the question.
It's Craig.
Oh,
Oh,
Craig,
Craig,
see.
how was I framing the question? Hey. Okay.
I
Let's
don't
keep going while the comments come in.
So-
There's Leah agrees we are all hypocrites.
what?
All right.
What have I?
Labels
what
are
have I-
convenient until they're not.
What hypocrisy have I stepped in? If I don't have a problem with labels, what hypocrisy have I stepped in here? Wait a minute.
You got the Bibcot license behind you. You're on a show with a government agent.
Again, all that means is I
Violation.
get to make fun. It just means I get to make fun of you in perpetuity publicly.
I know it does.
I do that anyway, so it doesn't really change anything. So I have two of them. I have the button on my
Is
hat
that really
too.
necessary? Like you got I covered the Detroit stuff in the back because I wear it up here. I actually wear the hat to not make this look so ridiculous.
I should have wore my Eagles hat.
I got my own brand, so fuck
Well,
all
I
y'all.
would. Hey, by the way, just a quick sports announcement: the Detroit Lions did beat the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday, 24-23. After the Eagles had 2 turnovers in the final 2 minutes of the game that sealed the game for the
Yes.
Detroit.
Dylan, you're
Lions.
breaking up again.
Oh yeah, mine.
Like,
And,
you have a little
and remember, I
static.
told you Dylan Wednesday, but you know what? I've recovered
It's
faster
Tuesday.
than I expected.
It
It's
is Tuesday.
Tuesday, and I'm fine with facing that reality at long last.
He said labels are convenient.
Well, of course they are.
Great question.
That's why.
audience.
That's why I have no problem with them.
How's that framing the question? Are labels not convenient?
He may have not got to that. Remember, there is a difference
Wag.
between they hear us
Oh,
and
okay.
when we get it.
Anyway,
That's why I said keep going.
I don't have a problem with labels. I understand what
Uh-huh.
you guys are saying though with the people that
I don't have a problem with labels either. I have a
So-
problem with people clinging to them
Well, that's just their
or using them as justification or anything like that. It's like, no, do it yourself.
Yeah, I don't think talking about people and using labels in a descriptive way is doing any of those things. So it's not, I don't know.
Right.
I fail to see the hypocrisy here. If we were rejecting labels and then constantly using them, that would be just hypocritical and
Are
idiotic.
you American?
What's that?
I guess I can kind of see. Yeah.
What'd you say, Dylan?
Are you an American?
By some people's definitions, I guess so. Sure.
I don't call myself an American.
I don't consider myself. I don't identify as an American. How about that?
I call myself a crow
That's
man.
Well, that's because you're crazy and you talk to animals.
I call my health.
I don't know.
I call
Listen,
myself-
I talk to animals
We got
too.
hypocrisy in
So.
that.
I call
There you
myself a husband. Yeah, I call myself a husband. I'm a husband. And, when I'm talking about the hyphens, I don't have a problem with the hyphens whatsoever. My issue is that the
Hyphens.
common ground that the
You're very-
hyphens could be working on, and there is common ground, that part that we're unnecessarily dividing and preventing ourselves from working in the areas where we could be working together.
This
I'm
we.
always
I
the
agree with the
bottom.
homie
Yes,
on the bottom.
I'm always the bottom. Damn it.
Wait, I agree. What?
Only with-
Leah says, I agree with the homie on the bottom. That's Andrew in the live stream. How are you not an American?
What do you mean? How am I not?
Well,
an
it would depend.
That's
What
the
would be your
question. That is
definition
the
of an
audience
American?
question.
All right.
The audience question is, how are you not an American?
in the sense that where nations matter and where you were born, yes, on this soil, according to that, I guess I'm an American. But whatever.
Are
Does
we
it-
defining how are we defining American?
That's what I'm saying. I assume that's that's the most common definition
Well,
to go by, right?
The course of enterprise has stuck us with that label till death.
Right.
So,
I in the sense that I speak
Yeah.
English, I predominantly am
Doesn't
part of a culture that's called American. I guess I'm an American, but in the sense of an individual participating as a quote unquote citizen, I'm not an American. I reject the American government. I reject the Constitution. I reject the quote unquote American way. I reject the mythology of the American dream. So, okay, yes, in some ways I'm an American, in some ways I'm not. Depends on what you were asking.
I can understand that. I think this. Here's the thing. This is a weird point for me because I don't
This
like
language.
being. I don't like the idea of being an American when I'm abroad. Scares the shit out of me.
Mhm.
I'm like, great.
Yeah, it's really.
But I don't really have any problem saying I'm American. Usually, when I'm talking to a chat with people around the world, it's with an apology for not understanding something that the rest of the world has for centuries. It's like, okay, but I stay here for a reason. Can I go to another country? I could, but I kind of have I got a beef here, man. Like, I had these ideas and dreams of what all this should fucking be, and it was all a horrible lie, and it's done nothing but kill people in my name, and I gotta do. I'm dedicated to do something about that, and that's why I can say I'm an American, because it's not about. It's what I'm necessarily accepting to change. What necessarily I disagree with so strongly. I wanna do something about it. I want to become part. Yeah. To make it what it shouldn't be, or make it what
Make
what
what?
it should be.
What is the it?
The idea of American,
Yeah,
because it ain't gonna go away.
not interested in the idea of American at all.
Right? You don't have to be,
Why not?
but it's a useful. It's a useful.
Not a bad idea.
It's a useful.
I
label.
believe that. I believe that the. I mean.
It
What is
depends on how you define things like freedom and liberty.
Right.
Because even, let's say, America, the idea of the American dream, the true freedom, or freedom and liberty. Of course, we define freedom and liberty differently than a lot of people who call themselves God Bless America. Americans define freedom and liberty. But if you define freedom and liberty differently, as in true individuality without any coercive enterprise, that is the American dream.
It's not. The American dream involves a coercive enterprise. It involves the republic, a government.
No,
Not the
because
dream
you're
I
still,
had.
you're
I woke
you're
up to
using
that
their
machine.
definitions and not your own.
So you're talking about creating a new American.
No, I'm not. No, I never said that. I'm saying if your definition of freedom and liberty is different from the so-called patriots, right?
It is.
So America's about freedom and liberty. Using your definitions of freedom and liberty, that is the American dream.
It's a simple substitution.
I think you're scared to go to that pro state. It's not a pro state argument. It's not a
Scared?
pro government conversation.
Or like
You're scared,
hesitant,
Paul.
hesitant.
I actually don't. I don't see the connection.
See, and there you go.
but-
I say scared, and someone gets. Ooh.
Oh, it was funny. It was. I thought it
I
was
wasn't
good
being funny. I
comic
was being
relief.
serious.
No, but no, I'm saying Jeremy. It was funny. I thought it was good comic relief. No problem with it. For me, America has the image of America. It has far more baggage to it than good. I would personally like to see it go away, and I would like to see new nations rise. And when I say nation, I don't mean nation state. I mean peoples. That's just my personal preference. But if a people arose that followed true liberty, that called themselves Americans, great. I'm all for that too. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't think of it as a. I mean, what you said, Dylan, about and just like substituting it. Okay, fine. I guess I understand what Paul's saying, but to me, I also have a preference to see a whole crapload of littler communities rather than
little
big,
nations.
one big nation called America with a dream, anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can have the idea of that, the freedom, sure. If you want to call that still the American dream, yeah, sure.
And
I probably won't.
In the course of spontaneous order, if there emerges this larger American people group, okay, great, fine. I don't think it will, but if it does, that's fine. I don't care.
Well, what are you gonna call people born on this chunk of land? North anarchists?
I don't know. They're going to be called what they end up being called.
Right.
Maybe they'll still be called Americans. I don't know.
But what is a nation?
It's really not a problem that I have to worry about.
But what is a nation?
A nation is a people that have an identity that is wrapped around a common language, often, but not necessarily a common religion.
Okay.
Yeah, a common language on the whole.
Yeah,
not
common
just
language.
a specific language, but a common
Common cultural experiences.
communication.
Some basic common belief that they share.
Or
That's
compatible.
a nation.
Compatible.
That's the traditional definition of a nation, as a people, and not a nation state. And you can have nations within nations, and even in America has many nations within it.
Right.
What's going on out in South Dakota? That's a nation out there.
True.
What about the Syrian refugees that are coming in and trying to live the American dream?
Running from
the American dream.
Yeah, well,
From the American
reality, yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, because whatever other people want to view that as, and if they want to call it that, fine. It's just it unfortunately,
This goes back
like
to
Paul, it's tainted to me, so it means
Right.
something different to me.
and this goes back to that. I know I'm going on a new age fucking trip here, but
Oh,
goes
you
back to the
No.
negative idea of things. Why are we holding on to a label if it's negative? Either
I'm not- that's
transform
what-
it or do something better with it.
Didn't you just say that sometimes no's lead us to a better understanding? So maybe sometimes negative labels lead us to a better understanding.
Well, not holding on to it's not going to lead you anywhere.
Right.
Well, I didn't address the holding on to it part. I was only addressing the negative label. And what I'm saying is maybe it's not holding. I'll say this: maybe it's not holding on to it. Maybe it's being used because it's useful, because it actually performs an actual function.
Maybe.
Maybe I'm just not using it because I'm just gonna reject it.
Well,
I
here's
have no need for
that
it.
not using it. Not using it isn't just. It's not using it. Not using it is using something else, an alternative. That's
So far,
that's different
I don't
than
have an
denying it.
alternative. I don't.
Oh, okay.
You know, I have in me the predominant nation that's within me genetically is Prussia, and I am in no way, shape, or form interested in being part of the Prussian nation, as it were,
Maybe you
and
should.
what Prussianism stands for. So I am a man without a nation, in essence. That's how I feel.
Nationless.
I'm a nationless dude. I don't have a nation.
Hmm.
But I don't want to be part of the American nation. What do we got, Dylan?
You gotta share.
Well, just
You
let-
gotta share with the
Again,
class now. You gotta share with the class.
If I had
okay. So, but
if I
when
had
say
comments on the YouTube
Okay, but-
stream again for the second time in the show,
no, Dylan, when I'm looking at you on the screen, and this is what I see.
it's a private conversation.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
On a show. Come on.
Yeah.
totally not
'Cause that's
paying
what you
attention.
do when you're on the show. Yep, that's what I do.
Don't fucking
Hold
worry.
on.
No, it's fine.
Who's running this episode?
You are.
Oh, you are.
The guy on the phone.
So
The
I
guy
say we
on the
can-
phone is running the episode. But you know what? You can do it. That's your business. You know, you're running the show. Let's all just watch Dylan engage in his private conversation. We don't need to know what we're saying. I'm just going to watch you looking at your phone.
Okay.
It's pretty incredible.
Well, anyway, we're actually 7 minutes over time. Andrew, you're looking at the stream. Do we have any more comments?
Syrians, refugees, haha, love it, Craig. No. It was weird.
Look at Craig. What was that?
Love it, Craig.
Love you. Love it.
Craig
Um,
said, was it?
Oh, I
was
skipped
it
him
Reagan?
completely.
Was it Reagan that said there would be world peace when the aliens attacked?
I don't know. I
love you, Craig.
I'm not up with my presidential Craig craze. There's so many of it to choose from, and
I have
that one slipped through my fingers. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Reagan.
bloody leftist.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan. He was an effing commie. Come on, we all know it. Maybe we should end with that. Ronald Reagan is an effing commie. Get over
There you
yourselves.
go.
Did he wear red?
We gave him a label.
Oh,
It's a
he
good
was
label.
he was controlled opposition. I'm just kidding.
We were going to get
Right.
into that and how much of it is real versus.
yeah.
I think we just
Yeah.
proved it, though.
It's mostly fake.
It's
Pretty
mostly
much all.
Hey, Cliff Notes version, mostly fake.
Benefit
fake?
of the doubt. Use it for
Ooh,
positive
ooh, ooh.
things.
To
Yeah.
6%, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, they're not
6%.
gods. They don't control everything. They're not omnipotent and omnipotent. Omnipotent. I'm not omnipotent clearly because I can't even say the word. They're not omnipotent, omniscient.
Omnipotent.
They're not infallible, so they can make mistakes. They can lose at times, but for the most part, what you're seeing is any authentic competition that's going on in politics is 90+% well within the margins of their accepted outcomes.
I would agree with that. That's why.
Dylan, would you agree with that? Oh, who are we sponsored by this evening?
Oh, this is Wendy's.
Wendy's. We're sponsored.
Also, in honor of my fellow veterans on here, we're sponsored by Rip It Energy.
Yes,
Because everybody loves kidney stones.
that's a big sponsor. That one is a big sponsor.
Nice.
Dylan
Give me
worked.
some kidney stones.
Woo!
Woo! Mm. All right. On that note, when I'm the most fired up, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Great comments. Love the questions. Kept it rolling. This has been Anarchy Action.
Hate everybody else.
Awesome.
Peace.
Oh, wait, I gotta stop the stream, right?
Yeah, you do it just off the stream. Or this.
Shit.
Let's just banter now. I know one time. Pretend the screen's muted.
I can keep it
Oh,
going.
oh
I
my
don't
goodness.
fucking care. How many?
I
Do we have
got it.
any viewers?
Yeah, we had like 7 though. Kill the stream.
Yeah. All right.